Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're going to do something a little different. We're going to see how an animated movie, yeah, a cartoon about a girl and a robot, can actually be an amazing way to get our heads around a huge topic like artificial intelligence. It turns out fiction can give us a fantastic lens to understand real-world tech.
So you might be asking why this movie, right? How can a fun story about friendship and, epic robot battles actually help us understand real-world AI? Well, that's exactly the question we're going to unpack together.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll talk about the movie itself. Then I'll introduce you to a cool way of watching it called the real versus real lens. We'll use a simple roadmap to check out some key AI themes, separate a little bit of the movie magic from reality, and see how this whole thing is really just an awesome conversation starter.
All right, let's dive right in. First up, the story that's going to be our guide for today.
So the movie is called Next Gen. It's all about this girl, Mai, who's feeling pretty lonely and kind of mad at the world, especially her mom, who's obsessed with robots. Then she accidentally stumbles upon this top secret robot, 7723, and their totally unlikely friendship is what drives the whole story.
Okay, so now that you know the basic story, let's talk about how we're going to watch it. We're not just going to watch it for fun. Well, we are, but we're also going to look at it through a special framework called the real versus real lens.
This quote right here, it really gets to the heart of it. Think about it. For a lot of us, our first ideas about AI come from movies. We see these super smart, sometimes scary robots long before we ever interact with a real algorithm. And those stories, they're powerful. They shape our hopes, and yeah, they shape our fears too.
So let's be clear. The goal here isn't to fact-check every little detail in the movie. It's not about predicting the future. It's about using the film as a tool for reflection. It helps us notice how AI is being shown on screen and what kinds of questions that brings up for our own world.
So let's get practical. How do we actually use this lens? Well, it comes with a super simple roadmap. 4 key areas that can help guide our thinking while we watch.
And here they are. These 4 domains are a fantastic way to break things down. AI literacy is basically, how does this stuff work? AI ethics asks, what's at stake here? AI fluency is all about how we interact with it. And AI development looks at why it was designed in the first place. So let's see how these apply to the movie. First up, AI literacy. In the movie, 7723 taps into Mai's memories to understand her world. This is such a brilliant way to show a core concept of real AI, machine learning. Real systems learn and get better by crunching tons of data, just like 7723 learns from Mai's life experiences. Okay, next up, AI ethics. Now, 7723 was originally built to be a weapon, but Mai wants him to be a friend and protector. This conflict forces us to ask a really big question. Who's responsible when a technology causes harm? It's the same dilemma people are grappling with right now with things like self-driving cars or biased algorithms.
Then we've got AI fluency. That might sound a little technical, but it's really just about the relationship between humans and AI. And this whole movie is about that. The friendship between Mai and 7723 isn't static, it grows and changes. How they learn to communicate and trust each other changes everything for both of them. And finally, AI development. See, 7723 had a creator, and he was built for a specific, pretty scary purpose. But Mai, she gives him a new purpose. This is a great reminder that technology isn't just about how it's designed. The people who use it can completely change what it's for. Okay, so this framework is awesome, but it's really important to draw a line between the real and the real. Let's take a quick look at where the movie stretches the truth a bit for the sake of a good story. So here's probably the biggest difference. In the movie, 7723 seems to have real feelings and consciousness, what experts call strong AI. That's pure science fiction, at least for now. But what is real is the parallel to learning. Today's AI, or Marrow AI, is amazing at finding patterns in data to do specific jobs, kind of like how 7723 learns from Mai's patterns to figure out how to help her. So after all this analyzing, what's the big takeaway? You know, the real value of watching a movie like Next Gen through this lens isn't actually about the technology. It's about us. Check out this question from Common Sense Media. It's a perfect example of what I mean. The movie has a lot of robot-on-robot action. Does that feel different to you than seeing humans get hurt? Why? These are the kinds of deep, human-centered conversations that a good story can spark.
And that really brings us to the most important point of all. Using stories to talk about AI isn't meant to make us afraid of technology. It's an opportunity to step back and think about our own values. What kind of relationship do we want with tech? And what choices are we making today to build that future? Because at the end of the day, the stories we tell ourselves about technology have a real, measurable impact on the kind of technology we end up creating. So the last question I'll leave you with is this. What are the important conversations we all need to be having right now to build the future we actually want to live in?